Hi everybody. So, today I am going to do a video on what I'm going to do differently this time. So baby girl's coming sometime in the next week. I have an induction scheduled for Tuesday, so assuming everything goes the way it's supposed to with that, which I'm hoping it does, obviously, then I will have her on Wednesday probably, maybe even Tuesday night. But anyway, so because of that, I wanted to do a video on things that I will do differently this time. It's a little confusing for me, to be honest, because um, it's completely different circumstances. You know, I had a singleton this time. I had twins last time. My twins are born premature. This baby will be born probably after 39 weeks. Um, so, you know, I mean, I wouldn't argue about going into labor in the next 5 minutes, but, you know, just assuming that I won't, um, you know, even if she was born now, she's full term. It's just going to be a different circumstance. I'm even giving birth at a different hospital, same network thing or whatever it's called, but a different location. So I doubt things are going to be much different, but it might be slightly different. So we'll see, you know. But things that I definitely know that I want to do differently. Um, I guess first of all, I co-slept with my twins. And it's not that I have anything against co-sleeping. Co-sleeping is amazing in my opinion. I loved co-sleeping with my twins. They're so great in the bed. You know, they behaved, I mean, and all that stuff. But the thing is that we got into a situation where when we traveled or when we were staying somewhere else, I was really weird about the bed. So my mattress when I had the twins and we were co-sleeping was literally on the floor. I had no bed frame. I had no springboard thing. I had nothing. It was literally just a mattress on the floor. And because of that, if we stayed in a hotel, if we were staying at someone else's house, I just didn't feel safe about it, you know? And when I was, when my kids were younger, one of my jobs was dog sitting and like walking. And when I was dog sitting, it wouldn't be at my house, it would be at their house. And a lot of people, most people who I stayed at the house of, have beds that are pretty high up and definitely not safe for a young toddler or baby to be sleeping on in case they roll over. So when they were really little, it wasn't a big deal. But when they got older and started walking especially, it was just really hard. I really didn't want them to sleep in the bed with me. I had a situation where one of the dogs I was walking really was a bit aggressive towards her being in the bed, not towards her being there. Well, her, one of the twins. Not her being there. He didn't mind the twins being there. He was really, really well behaved on our walks together. But it was at a point where I didn't feel like it was safe to be sleeping in a bed with this dog that's not used to being around kids and toddlers, especially because the bed was really high up off the ground. And I love this dog, okay? But it just, so because of that though, I got in a situation where the kids wanted to sleep with me and I would have to let them cry it out in their pack and play, which was really, really hard for me. And so I would just prefer, even if there's a night here or two where there's co-sleeping or I fall asleep with her in the bed or whatever, I feel like it's really important this time to teach her that she is comfortable in the pack and play and that's her bed. And you know, she can sleep with mommy and daddy sometimes, but like I'm not going to be super strict about it, but her bed is going to be the pack and play until she outgrows the pack and play and gets a toddler bed or like a normal crib or whatever ends up happening, you know. But yeah, that's probably the number one thing I'm going to do differently is just making sure that she's set up for, you know, any kind of situation. I don't do dog sitting anymore, but I definitely would if the few clients that I still have asked me to help out. I might not do the whole sit, but I would definitely help out by walking the dog or whatever, you know. So, you know, I want to be prepared. I want to not feel like I'm under limitations, you know. So there's that. And the second thing that I'm going to do differently is I feel like with the twins, I really kind of tried to force them eating solids because I was exclusively pumping with them. It was really hard, and I really wanted them to start eating kind of like ASAP. I was really excited for them to eat, which ended up not really being a fun experience, to be honest. It's not that I forced them to eat or anything crazy like that, but, you know, I offered the solids I was allowed to offer as soon as I was allowed to offer them, and I was very up and down and iffy about it and stuff, but I still, you know, I bought them high chairs once they could sit by themselves and all that stuff. So I feel like this time I'm not going to rush it. You know, I'm going to wait the full 6 months, even if I'm given the green light at 4 months. And even then, I'm not really going to push it. I hope to nurse this time, which is going to be another thing that I bring up. But yeah, I feel like with the twins, I really tried to force the solids thing, and it really stressed me out. And I feel like that probably in turn stressed them out, which is why now we have some feeding issues. Nothing huge, you know, but my girls are on the little side, especially my second born daughter. She sees a nutritionist and stuff. So I don't think it's my fault, and I don't think that I caused any of that. I think most of it's just genetic and the fact that they were preemies and they started out little, and that they're being, you know, on the chart that they're on, it's being compared to kids their age, not adjusted age, their actual age. And so there shouldn't be that much of a difference between 7 weeks, but, you know, there might be. So it's like, you know, they're being compared to kids being born between 37 and 42 weeks. You know, some of these babies were born at 9 pounds, and it's just not going to be the same as someone who was born at 3 pounds and 11 ounces, you know, because it's just, even with good weight gain, it's just, you'd have to gain so much more weight. So, yeah, I definitely just am not going to force the food thing, and I'm just going to be chill with it. And, you know, obviously she's going to have to eat solids at some point, and she will, and, you know, it'll be fine. So, the third thing that I'm going to do differently is just be more adamant about nursing. I didn't have a lot of support with the nursing, which I think I've talked about before. You know, I didn't know to ask for lactation consultants. I didn't know to ask for help. And I didn't know how to hold for breastfeeding, especially for preemies whose mouths are so tiny. And, you know, my second born daughter was a really good latcher, but she just couldn't stay awake. And so I really had to do everything I could to make sure her latch was perfect if I was going to breastfeed her from the source. And I didn't know how. So I've already made some, you know, like I've reached out to lactation and I've asked them for help already and stuff. And I told the lactation consultant I saw last time, who I saw actually started seeing her 5 months after they were born, which was a little too late. They were really set in their ways by then, as to be expected. Their entire lives have been bottles, and, you know, that's what they were used to. They didn't know how to breastfeed. There was somewhat of an intuitive thing, but that's just not what they were used to. My boobs aren't going to be the same shape and size and flow and all that stuff as a bottle nipple, you know. So it just, you know, it is what it is. So definitely going to reach out to lactation, make sure I make that, you know, into a thing. But another thing that goes along with that is that I lost so much milk when I was trying to nurse, and it would just, like, whatever boob I was using obviously was going in her mouth, but whatever I wasn't using would just drip everywhere. And so I wasn't planning to pump with the twins at all. I didn't want to pump. I didn't buy a pump. I didn't buy bags. I didn't buy anything. I didn't buy bottles. and I didn't have anything. So I definitely made sure that I will have a Hakka this time. Not only am I getting better disposable pads, because the pads that I had for putting in my bra were not very good. I only had 2 of them, and they would leak through in about 20 minutes. And then it's like, well, now what? So I had to bring clothes with me everywhere I went. And so I'm, making sure that I have something to catch the letdown and something to catch my milk if I'm just walking around and I start leaking, which happens in the beginning. So, yeah, I'm just going to do a better job with breastfeeding and preparation and all that stuff, for sure. And so those are probably the top 3 things that I'm going to do differently this time. I don't want to make this video super long, and I tend to blab and blab and blab, and because I'm not super experienced with this, I like to just do everything on one take, which means I'm not going to cut any of this out. And so I think I'm just going to stick to those, just be my top 3, and hopefully that works out for me. I do think that a lot of what I did with the twins is stuff that I truly do believe in, or worked for me at least. I know that I had considered cloth diapering, for example, but after having gone through using disposable diapers for the last 2.5 years, I really don't think that I am the kind of person to be using cloth diapers. I really, really hate having to deal with poo, and I don't really want to have to be doing laundry all the time and stuff. So just knowing myself and knowing that I'm not going to be willing to do that, I think for me it's better to just get the most eco-friendly kind of disposable diapers I can, and so that, for example. But yeah, I think mostly it's worked out for me, and mostly I'm going to do the same stuff. It's mainly learning from postpartum stuff and what I needed in the hospital, which I already talked about in my hospital bag. So yeah, I hope everybody has a great day and a great weekend and a great week. And I'll see you all very soon for my labor and delivery vlog, I hope. And in the meantime, I'll just keep doing these sit-down videos. All right.